Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
We're here.
It's Sidewalk Slam.
Yeah.
We did it. We finally did it. We recorded within a week of the other one.
We did it. Yeah, we didn't lie.
Yeah.
I was like, I listened to the beginning, or to the part where we talked about, it was near the ending? I can't remember. But anyway, I listened to it, and I was like, oh, we're not liars. We did it. Yeah.
The one prior where like we were going to record and then you had to go to town for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Because it took me like a little longer to edit that one because it was so long. And I was like, wait, I can just take out the part where we say that we're about to record in like a couple days. And nobody knew. But this is important for us.
Using studio magic.
Yes.
Graham Stark has altered the very fabric of reality.
All right, we are continuing Operation Catch Up.
Yeah.
We have catch up, not ketchup.
Ketchup.
Delicious. It's Tuesday to the 26th.
Yeah.
And we've watched Battleground and last night's Raw, but that will be probably for a future episode. Depends on how quickly we can whip through this. But we've got a bunch of Raw to catch up on with development following Money in the Bank. Because last episode we talked about Money in the Bank and the Raw following Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And then we sort of jumped future forward in time to the draft.
Yeah.
But now we're going back, all the way back, actually almost a month today, to the Raw for June 27th.
Yes.
And this is like the least important thing, but I'm so glad they changed Seth's Titantron, because his name used to be in the charcoal font, which was like this old Apple Windows or like Apple system font.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man,
I'd never noticed
why
that.
Charcoal? Yeah.
That's funny.
Shit bugs me. Anyway. So yeah, Seth comes out and decides to, in his words, go off script.
Yeah.
And drop his own like little mini shoot promo on Reigns, because this is now, because Reigns was suspended following the last Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And so this is the first Raw since the suspension, and Rollins kind of like rips into him for the fact that they were even acknowledging it on camera is surprising to me.
I was shocked that they brought it up on camera. Like,
because
I
they
didn't think
never do.
No.
Someone's just like, they get injured or they're just off camera, they're just away.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess because this made such news that it was like, all right, let's use it, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, the last suspensions we covered were Victor and Adam Rose.
Yeah.
And they're not, I mean, they weren't anywhere in the spotlight like Roman was.
I mean, no one really talked about Victor. People only talked about Adam Rose's suspension because he made such a big deal about it himself.
Yeah.
Because of the Adderall thing.
Yeah. Isn't that somebody, I saw you having a conversation with someone on Twitter.
Yeah, someone on Twitter was saying that the rumor is that it was Reigns as well for Adderall. But if it was something so innocent as he has ADD and he has a prescription for Adderall, but then he took Adderall that wasn't on the prescription or whatever, that's fairly innocent. And if it was that, I think they would have said it.
Something? Yeah.
But that's the only... If it is that innocent, then I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then I don't know why they wouldn't have said it. And that, anyway. But so, Seth really rips into Reigns. Like, really goes ham on him.
Yeah, it definitely felt real.
Yeah.
Like he was super upset. Because he talks about how Roman embarrassed Seth, because Seth is the reason that Roman is in the WWE. Like, he brought him in.
Right.
I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just, it caught me off guard.
It was so unusual seeing anyone acknowledge on camera a wellness policy suspension.
And he talks about, like, how Roman always wants it one versus all, and like he has no friends. You know? So it's just like, Jesus. Like, and it didn't even stop at this segment. They would throw in little jabs here and there. Like, over the last like 4 weeks, it'd always be like, oh, there's actually a brilliant segment with Seth in a couple weeks that I absolutely loved. Yeah. But in this segment, he still goes on and he talks about how he wants Roman taken out of the three-way because he feels like man doesn't deserve it. I mean, for obvious reasons. Like, probably in kayfabe and in real life. Like, probably, he probably thinks like he doesn't deserve it.
Well, because a lot of people, after the suspension the previous Monday, a lot of people were doing the math on the calendar, and they're like, wait a minute. So he is in a title shot, then he gets to be suspended for a month and comes back immediately into another title match. That's kind of bullshit to be... That's like setting a bad example. Yeah. Right? To be like, you can get suspended for 30 days, but it's not a big deal. Yeah. You know? And because typically you don't just get suspended for 30 days, you also, like, your push gets killed or, like, you know,
which
sucks, but like,
that's just the way it goes, man. Don't screw up.
And so, Rollins wants Reigns out of the triple threat. He wants it to be one-on-one, him and Dean.
Yeah.
So Dean comes out to a huge pop.
It's pretty massive.
It's a massive pop.
Yeah.
I think this is the only time that the commentary tries to reference him calling himself the dude.
Yeah.
I think they try it once.
And then they're
just like, no, this is terrible.
It's not working.
Really, before Dean gets to do anything, AJ immediately comes out.
Yeah.
And he also wants in on the triple threat. He actually doesn't care Reigns one way or the other, but he's like, I want in that match, make it a fatal 4-way, put me in the title match at Battleground.
Yeah. And he talks about how he beat John Cena. He's still bringing it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
John Cena now comes out.
Yeah.
And rather than trying to start shit with AJ, just goes, well, as if we're just doing this, put me in the match. Make it a fatal 5-way.
Yeah.
Why not?
And Rollins is like, no, I want one-on-one with Dean.
No, this is not what I was. This is not an open call.
Yeah. It's awesome. And then Steph comes out.
Just craps on Dean.
Yeah. Craps on Roman, too. Calls Roman an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, holy. I know a lot of people really dislike the way Steph talks down to wrestlers. She has a habit of verbally undressing people on camera, and there's no repercussions, like, even in kayfabe.
Yeah, because part of that is her character, but you never know how much, and it's like sometimes you're doing your character more than you should.
Yeah.
And in storyline, there's no repercussions for it. And so
like, she keeps getting away with it.
But she personally just doesn't like Dean at all and thinks that it's embarrassing that he's their champion because he's a scruffy looking nerf herder. And she actually just calls Reigns and his suspension an embarrassment, which is surprising.
I was still like, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Like I wish I knew.
You need to understand how, for those who are new to the product, this is a sharp contrast to how this stuff is usually dealt with.
Yeah.
I think it's only because he was champ and it got so much news.
Yeah.
But
I think it's because
they never talk about this. Like when someone gets suspended on camera, they're injured or they're going to film a movie or something. There's some reason that they're off camera. If they're high enough that you care. Sometimes someone's just not there for a couple weeks, and they'll be like, "Oh, so and so we haven't seen so and so since." Since the Royal Rumble, right? Like they won't address it on camera. So not only to have them even say that it was a wellness policy violation, but to have them like rip the guy down on camera was really startling for us.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out like what their angle. I mean, it was great. I mean, it made for good TV, right?
It's good TV. It's good story.
We like it when
it's the reality.
When reality blurs. You know what I mean? Like we're not sure. I wish I knew what their angle was. You know what I mean? Like, was it just as a punishment to Roman? Like,
I mean, it could have been a punishment to Roman. It could have been them leaning into it and being like, look, everyone, like, people already know, so we may as well just, like, use it.
Yeah.
And maybe, to an extent, trying to placate the internet wrestling community a little bit.
Maybe.
Be like,
I don't know, like, because a lot of stuff they've done, like,
since then, they've been, like, because I watched, even after watching all the wrestling to get it for this episode.
Yeah.
I did watch Battleground and a little bit of the Raw. And even the Raw after Battleground, where they do put Reigns into a match that could possibly lead to a number one contendership, even then Steph is still like, don't fuck up, buddy.
Awesome.
Like, she's still like disappointed in him, in character, right?
Yeah.
And so it's
wow.
It's just so unusual because I've never done anything like this before.
Yeah, so
but
crazy.
It's good. It's
good. It was compelling.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Like, and I think it too is just because he's such a big name on like their Make-A-Wish thing too. Yeah. And I think like you said, like they had to use it, right?
Yeah.
They couldn't just brush on it because people will be like, well,
because usually what happens is they have a press release on their website.
Yeah.
It's like a tiny news post that just says, so-and-so has been suspended for 30 days per a contravention of the WWE wellness policy. It's like a sentence.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that it's like blink and you miss it. The only way that we like know about it is because on like the subreddit or whatever, people are like, "Hey, look, look!" Like they acknowledge it, but it's never a thing. And so again, just to have it on camera was really really interesting.
Yeah.
So Steph says,
"Yes,
sure, fine. You guys want to have a 4-way, a 5-way, whatever. Reigns is still in the match." But I don't know why. But I don't know.
Yeah, she doesn't give a reason. She's like, Reigns in the match.
She doesn't talk about that. But she's like, yeah, look, you want a 4-way, 5-way, fine. Cena, AJ, you guys will be in singles matches tonight, and if you win your matches, you can join the match. At Battleground. Like, all right, sweet.
Yeah,
cool.
She makes Cena versus Rollins, and then Ambrose versus AJ.
Right. I guess
which is like weird too, because if the possibility of AJ winning, not only does he get in the match, but he's already pinned the current champion.
Yeah.
So it's just like, wow, okay.
There's a brief women's match with Charlotte and Dana versus Sasha Banks and Paige.
I think, is this Sasha's first match back?
Yeah,
she came back last week.
Came back at Money in the Bank. At the previous Raw.
Yeah,
she returned to previous Raw, so this is her first one back, and she wins the match with a bank statement. Wins the match for her team with a bank statement. So, right, because she came back interrupting Paige's, not interrupting because the match was over, but interrupting the end of the
beatdown.
The beatdown after the titles match with Charlotte and Paige.
Yeah. So. And then we get Titus versus Rusev.
Yep.
It is a match.
It sure is.
That's what I wrote.
Titus wins via countout.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that Lana, I don't know why I like this, it's just a very small thing, that when she's introducing Rusev, she says, "Everyone, please rise and put your hand on your heart and welcome your United States champion and my fiancé."
Yeah, Rusev. Which means you'll never have me, is what she says.
That was a recent addition. And I was like, I thought that's why they were doing this.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, I like it.
Backstage is Steph and Kane.
Yep.
Kane is being a massive go-getter. He's just like, "Hey, Steph," because this is corporate Kane, not the Demon Kane. He's just like, "Hey, how's it going? I really think I could do great on SmackDown." Miz and Maurice return.
Yeah.
They enter this scene. This is Miz returning from shooting the Marine 5.
Yeah.
All hopped up on quail protein. And they're just awful, and it's great.
Yeah,
they're just the worst people.
They're super fired up because there's no red carpet greeting for them.
Welcome. It's like, I'm a superstar. I've been making this movie.
Yeah.
And then Kane invokes Section G1-4526 of the Comprehensive Rules that a champion must defend their title every 30 days or relinquish it.
Yeah.
Which I don't think has ever been brought up before. But Steph is like, "Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kane, for giving me an excuse to put the screws to the Miz.
Yeah.
You'll be defending the Intercontinental Championship against..." She has she forgets the rest of the word.
Yeah.
But against mystery opponent later tonight.
You're like, ooh, I wonder who that's going to be.
I honestly didn't.
I kind of just put two and two together.
I absolutely did not. It was right there in front of me, literally, and I did not put it together. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, right. Of course. That makes total sense. But yeah.
Yeah. I think speaking of the 30-day, I'm trying to think. The only times I can think of is when Shawn Michaels got beat up outside that bar in Syracuse way back in the 90s.
Wow.
They said it was a bunch of sailors. But I think he was just like coked up or drunk or something and run his mouth and got in a fight.
That was a real thing.
Yeah, it was a real thing. And he got beat up. And he had to retire. They were like, "You need to sort yourself out.
Right.
Like, we're putting you off." And he had to retire the Intercontinental Championship. But they made it out to be like this. Like, he got jumped by like 10 guys outside a bar.
Sure.
And he did have like black eyes and stuff. And then they played like, it was this whole storyline between him and Owen Hart. It was like a concussion angle. So anytime Owen would like try to give him like an enziguri or something, and Michaels would just go out. Like, the kick to the head was too much. It was a great storyline. And then Daniel Bryan obviously not retiring, but giving it up when he got hurt.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, like, them doing it on camera is what I'm
Rollins
trying to get
had to vacate the title when he got injured as well.
Yeah, but then as far as them doing it on camera, like a 30-day, like you're not going to be able to defend it in 30 days. So sorry,
People do like to joke about the wrestler vacant.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like
World Heavyweight Champion vacant.
Yeah, World Heavyweight Champion vacant. Vacant has held the title for whatever. And I in this situation, I just like to imagine Vacant just like looking at his watch. Just waiting for the Miz to tick over 30 days, and then like, yes.
Okay, we need to see that.
Seth Rollins versus John Cena qualifying match. If Cena wins, then he's in the match at Battleground.
Yep.
What did I write? Oh yeah, it's a real slobber knocker, King.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe this match. They beat the piss out of each other.
Pretty much, yeah. We get the club coming down to ringside.
Yeah, at one point it's so close, but Rollins gets his leg on the rope.
Oh, yeah.
So close.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the club comes out and Cena is so distracted.
Yeah.
They don't actually like
do anything. They don't. There's no physical contact.
Yeah, but Cena's just like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then so Rollins gets the pin. So Cena will not be joining that match.
Yeah. That's just like for those of you that are new and if you haven't figured it out yet, that this is a classic.
Yeah.
The guys are feuding and then they come down during one of their singles matches. And just so you know, Cena does, tit for tat, right?
Yeah. Enzo and Cass come out and call for a wave.
Oh yeah.
Which I was when I was watching this, I was like, people are just going to wave every time now because it's Enzo and Cass. This is just going to be a thing that they do. Yeah. And I haven't noticed it.
No, I haven't seen it either. I haven't been paying attention.
I think they got a call for it more than once, but in this case, they just won. They're like, as soon as the bell rings, you start giving us a wave, and I was like,
that's awesome. Sure. Yeah, I think we've mentioned this before, but Enzo had the 100 emoji on his pants.
They are in a match against
two local jobbers.
I couldn't understand the names.
Yeah.
I think it was Carlos Corshi and Mitch Waldy. I'm really sorry. I couldn't hear your names over the crowd.
I like how you're talking to them like there is a small chance.
There's a possibility.
It's like they're going to talk about us.
If anyone knows the people who got immediately squashed with the bada boom shakalaka, let them know that I'm sorry I mispronounced their names.
Yeah.
Try to tell their local opponents that they are soft, but that is interrupted by the social outcasts.
Yeah.
Who are back from also filming the Marine 5.
I was like,
were in the Marine 5 as well.
Yeah.
Which is fine, why not?
Sure.
And they inform Enzo and Cass that, in fact, they are not soft. They are HARD, hard.
Yeah.
And this goes badly for the social outcasts.
Yeah.
As you might.
Much of their many penis jokes. I had a good laugh, yeah.
Making Darren Young great again. Backlund is just yelling the slogan now.
Yeah.
He's just like,
we've devolved.
Make Darren Young great again. The promos have just like reached a singularity.
Yeah.
There's a big segment with the WWE partnering with the Special Olympics, which has no bearing on wrestling storyline. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, good for them.
Hey, look at that. And Big Show doing his corporate spokesman bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice, and the crowd responded really
usually
well.
You WWE fans are usually pretty good about stuff like that.
We have a match with Becky versus Summer Rae.
Yeah.
Or do we? Because Natalya is on commentary, and before the match starts, Becky just chucks her stuff at Summer, then dives out of the ring and starts attacking Natalya.
Yeah.
Just goes nuts on Natalya.
Goes absolutely apeshit.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Like, I guess Becky's got this new thing where she's the fire.
Well, she's also just sick of people turning on her.
Yeah.
So she's just really angry now.
But I like it when she's in the ring. She's like, I bring the fire. It's like, all right, you do you. Yeah. So they're just kind of, I like that it showed that Becky is actually tired of all this bullshit that keeps happening to her. So I was fine with it.
It's the highlight reel. Jericho tells the crowd to be quiet.
Quiet.
Which goes
quiet.
Not well.
Quiet.
Quiet.
God,
it's so good.
Man's a genius.
His TV isn't there.
Yeah.
The TV that he's always referred to as the Geratron 6500.
Yeah.
Or actually, the original one was not. This is the Geratron 6500. It's a big flat screen. There have been a couple Geratrons through the years of the highlight reel. But it's not there this week. He's kept it out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Because his guests are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, who have a penchant for just... They fight when they're in the ring together. I loved this segment.
This was really good.
Yeah.
Storytelling.
It was mostly just
good acting.
Sammy bringing up all the times that over the last 4 or 5 months that he's kind of hampered Owens' career.
He's like, I stopped you winning this match. I eliminated
stopped you
from the Rumble.
Yeah, I stopped you from retaining your IC belt at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. I stopped you from getting the Money in the Bank ladder or the Money in the Bank contract. And Owens the whole time is just kind of like just sitting there, like not really doing anything.
Zayn wants them to settle their differences and just end this rivalry because it is hurting both of their careers.
Yeah.
Which it is.
Yeah.
Which they've done an ample job demonstrating. Because you'll have a match start and they'll just tear at one another rather than the goal of the match. Or there was the match, I can't even remember what it was, but a couple episodes ago we talked about it, where I think it's a ladder match, Sammy's going for it, and then Owens stops him, and then Sammy just forgets about the match and just starts attacking Owens.
That was the that 4-way Intercontinental title match?
Yeah.
Yeah. Payback?
I think so.
I think it was Payback?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was at one point where Sammy kind of had the match won, or he had a chance to, and he was so focused on Kevin that it cost him.
And so Kevin Owens, through this, has been maintaining that the reason he keeps attacking Sammy is because Sammy's success means that Kevin Owens is not successful.
Yeah.
And that has a direct correlation to the money that he's taking home to his family.
Yeah, right? Kevin Owens, the character, when Kevin Owens debuted in NXT, the reason he attacked Sammy right away is because Sammy was the champion, and when you're the champion, you make more money.
Yeah.
And that's been Kevin's the driving force behind most of Kevin Owens' actions, which is funny because he does all this stuff that is considered despicable or dastardly, but he's got a wife and a kid that he's just trying to feed, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of sympathize.
Zayn says in this promo, he says he doesn't believe it. Yeah. He's like, I don't believe that that's why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Just tell me it's because you resent me.
Yeah.
Just tell me the truth, that it's because you resent me. You resent that I got to WWE first. You resent that I've had more success than you, that I was the champ before you, that I did all this. Just tell me the truth, that it's actually because you are bitter and you resent me.
Yeah.
And grow a set and tell me the truth.
Yeah.
The crowd starts chanting, grow a set, grow a set. Jericho reminds Owens that the crowd is telling you to grow a set. Which was great.
Yeah.
Owens does not respond. He, weirdly, doesn't say much.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. Yeah.
Because Owens runs his mouth, and this, he did not. He says he thought that Zayn was full of crap, but he accepts his match. Mm-hmm. And then Jericho tries to make it all about himself, and they both beat the crap out of Jericho. And do not fight.
Yeah, they don't fight. I think this is the first time they've been in the ring together and they haven't Bedlam hasn't broken out.
Yeah.
But
seeing Owens not say much was really interesting.
Yeah, and it looked almost like he believed the things that Zayn was saying, and he was like, yeah, I got to end this. This has got serious.
Yeah.
I was like,
this is
I have
actually
a lot to
distracting
prove.
me.
Yeah. He's like, I have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's an NXT champion first.
So they're going to have a let's end the rivalry match at Battleground.
Yeah.
I don't believe that it will, but anyway.
I guess we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see, yeah. Miz comes out for his Intercontinental title defense versus
Kane.
The Demon Kane. Like I said, I was like, oh, right, of course. Of course it would be Demon Kane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I only just noticed they've stopped testing out the turnbuckle cameras. You notice that, for the past, year or year and a half, there's been these little domed toppers on all 4 turnbuckles with little teeny pinhole cameras in them. Oh. And, twice ever, and almost by accident, because they cut away from them immediately, they've cut to those cameras. And I assume that they've been testing them to see if they want to incorporate them into the product somehow.
Yeah.
But they've been gone for I don't know how many long. This is the first time I've noticed them.
Seems like it'd be a crappy angle to look at things from.
Yeah. One of the times I saw them cut to it was during a New Day tag match, and someone got thrown into the corner, and the whole thing went green and spun.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, yeah.
It seems counterproductive.
So anyway, that was just a random production aside. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, stuff like this I don't notice.
Yeah. So I said going into this, I was like, okay, so this match is either going to be a complete squash where Kane wins and there's zero benefit to anybody, or an actual match that presumably Miz does not win clean.
Yeah.
Let's find out. The best part of this match actually is hearing the announcers doing mental gymnastics on the difference between Demon Kane and Corporate Kane.
Yeah.
Because it used to be that it was Kane, and then he started working for the Authority.
Yeah.
And then they started calling him Corporate Kane. And then once Kane in the full mask and outfit showed up, and they were like, oh, it's the Demon Kane. But then they started appearing more interchangeably, and now, according to the announcers, it's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing.
Yeah.
That it is very much You know, that everyone, it's like he could flip at any time. It's unclear what Kane feels is the distinction between Corporate Kane and Demon Kane.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's either a literal demon from actual hell or a sniveling corporate yes man.
Yeah.
And it's sure.
Do you think they'll ever explain it?
I mean, they try to. Kind of. They're like, oh, and then he turns into the Demon Kane. Oh, it was really interesting hearing.
Is it kind of like that Festus guy?
Oh, God. Dr. Luke Festus. Yeah. The weird ending to this match.
Yeah.
Maurice like beckons Kane over, and then like really obviously pretends to. Like she's been hurt, she like falls over and like grabs her ankle.
Like she's been shoved or something.
Like she twisted her foot, and so Miz is like, "Oh, I can't possibly like I gotta take her backstage and help her out and whatever. Screw the match. If I get counted out, I don't lose the title, so whatever."
Yeah.
So he picks Maurice up and takes her backstage, and then backstage he's like helping her limp through to like they're trying to get to the medic or whatever, and it turns out that she was, as she says, acting.
And she's
like that gif of Patrick Stewart from American Dad. Acting.
And she talks about how she deserves an Oscar. I was like, we're on TV, babe.
No, Miz says, that was amazing. You deserve an Oscar for that performance. Yeah, then she's like, yeah, we're on TV, babe. And he's like, right, an Emmy.
Yeah. I like that. I like this couple.
Yeah, they're great.
They're so much fun. And he's quietly become, I think, one of the best heels that they have. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see like where Miz goes from here.
There's a quick tag match with Cesaro and Apollo Crews for some reason versus Sheamus and Del Rio.
This was like, I mean, no bearing on any storyline whatsoever. They did tell a little bit of a story, surprisingly, between Sheamus and Del Rio of all people.
Del Rio tags Sheamus in by slapping him across the face.
Yeah.
And then just leaves.
Yeah. So this is like, obviously, for anyone that is new, Sheamus and Del Rio used to be part of a group called the League of Nations. It wasn't actually that long ago.
No.
A couple of months, I think.
Didn't even last that long at the time.
Didn't last that long. I mean, it had a lot of potential, as with a lot of things. Mm. And yeah, but they broke up, and the breakup was not pretty.
No.
And now it's nice that they still show some animosity towards each other, even though they're all heels, and like everyone's like, oh, all the baby faces need to get together or get along. And then the heels need to all kind of get along because they like to
Del
cheat.
Rio, Sheamus, and Rusev still have connection and animosity to that.
They have Twitter beef with each other.
Del Rio slaps Sheamus and then kicks him off the ring apron and then just leaves.
Yeah.
Just walks up the ramp, and so Apollo Crews gets the pin on Sheamus.
Yeah. And when Apollo Crews lifts him up into that finisher, it was just like... you realize how strong Apollo Crews is.
Oh, yeah.
And how big Sheamus is. I was like, holy crap, man. Yeah.
JoJo's backstage with Dean, who says he kind of wanted a parade, but permits.
Oh, yeah.
for his title. He's
God
like,
bless you, Dean.
Parade would have been cool, but Steph comes out and is super not on board with Ambrose being champion and restates her whole piece from before that she just thinks that he's a bad choice to represent the company.
Pretty much, yeah.
The New Day come out dressed like the Wyatts.
I love shticks like these in wrestling.
Yeah.
When wrestlers dress up as other wrestlers and just make fun of them. Like Big E had the unicorn horns as like the lantern.
Yeah.
And Kofi had Eric Rowan's like jumpsuit on, but he had a bunch of like a pillow or something in the butt. Yeah. And then Xavier was just like Luke Harper.
Yeah.
But he just had his hair like not kind of bundled up. It was just
in a full fro.
Afro, yeah.
And they start ripping on the Wyatts' hygiene.
Yeah.
Which is fine because they're not ripping on the gimmick.
Yeah.
They're not undercutting the gimmick.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, well, they're these people from the swamp, so they smell.
Yeah. And I love how nervous Xavier Woods looks through this whole segment. He's like, really, why are we making fun of these guys? Like, we're going to get beat up.
Because they're doing what they're roasting them. They're doing like, hey, we're doing a roast of the Wyatts. This will be great. And Xavier's really reticent to continue this. Yeah. He's like, can we please not do this? Mm-hmm. And the Wyatts interrupt.
Yeah.
And Bray actually says, it's a new day. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Which is great. Bray's a super downer in this. He's like, you guys are always talking about the power of positivity.
Yeah.
You know, tell that to the man who just got his house foreclosed on. Tell that to the people who just lost their job. Tell that to, he's like talking about all the bad things in the world. He's like, tell these people about positive power.
Yeah.
And then he singles out Xavier Woods, who is like super shaken. Is like,
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Kofi's like, no, man, that's not what the power of positivity is about. It's about, like positive, no. It's positivity. It's different than what you're saying. And then Bray's like, no. He understands.
Yeah.
And they just sort of leave. And then New Day goes backstage and Renee interviews them about like, hey, what happened out there? And Woods doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
And just like walks away. Oh, he just leaves the interview. And the other two are like, what is going on?
Oh, just love it.
It's really good.
God, I love stuff like this.
It's really selling the Wyatts.
I want to know whose idea was.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. I just wrote here, love Woods' look of doubt, and then make the Wyatts scary again. Mm-hmm. And I think this has repaired.
Oh yeah,
this feud has repaired a lot of. It's sad that they broke them all up now, but Bray Wyatt as a character is still.
I just hope that when.
Do you think they'll play?
I hope when Harper comes back, he joins Bray and Eric on SmackDown.
I hope so too, because I think they want Braun on his own.
I think they want Braun
because they want Braun as like the big monster,
scary monster. Because I was saying beforehand, like Big Show flops face and heel all the time, but he's not super active anymore. Mark Henry is not super active. Kane is around, but again, not super active. They don't actually have a big scary monster heel right now. So I guess they want Braun for that.
Yeah.
So it's actually unclear because he hasn't said anything yet. It's only been one episode of Raw. It's unclear whether or not he is still
part of the
kind of with the Wyatts. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
Kind of like how the club AJ is saying the club is still.
They're still the club.
Thing. Yeah. Even though they've been split out.
I'll take care of SmackDown. Anderson and Gallows will take care of Raw. And it'll be great.
Yeah.
Main event is AJ versus Dean, and of course, if AJ wins, he will be included in the match at Battleground, and Rollins is on commentary. Rollins and the announce team are just talking nonstop over the first part. They don't call a move in this match for like several minutes.
Yeah.
And I guess we can look forward to more of AJ and Dean having matches because they're both going to be on SmackDown.
Yeah. All I know is that, SmackDown is tonight. I think I read something that they're going to name. I read a title, like a headliner. It was like, they're going to name the number one contender tonight. Same thing that they probably did on Raw. Mm-hmm. But I was going to say briefly too about the Wyatts. I hope that this hypnotizing stuff that Bray did to Woods, they play into going forward. Like he makes like a new, maybe get some new blood, maybe into the Wyatt family.
This is a good match.
Yeah, it's two good wrestlers. It's AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose.
Exactly. The club comes out, and AJ tries to capitalize on this, but then Cena comes out and helps against the club, and then there's just a complete melee, and AJ does not get there, so he will not be in the match. So the match at Battleground is still the Shield as a triple threat.
Yeah.
And then we go dark on this episode of Raw with the club giving Cena a magic killer at the top of the ramp.
Yeah. Oof. Looked rough.
It looked super rough.
Yeah. I was like, that did not look like it was soft.
Yeah. Raw for Monday, July 4th, Independence Day. Oh, yeah. What am I looking at?
USA! 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 That's all I wrote for my notes.
Golden Truth are performing at a 4th of July party that took place earlier today, according to the caption.
Yeah.
It's like this terrible, it's like the commissary. It's been like decorated with like red, white, and blue bunting and like some balloons, and it's like everyone's sitting around having a barbecue in this like otherwise featureless room.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
And like
the vaudevillains interrupt, and they're like, your singing is terrible.
Yeah.
Aiden English, this guy can sing.
Yeah.
So let's let this guy sing. And the Miz tries to like stop everything. He's like, no, we have to.
Well, the Miz yells, cut.
Because someone throws some sort of nondescript, shit-looking food substance at Aiden English.
Yeah.
And Miz is like, whoa, hang on. No food fight. This is the reason we can't celebrate Thanksgiving on SmackDown anymore.
Is that actually true? Like
they had a big food fight.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, let us not have a food fight. So then a food fight happens.
Yeah.
A massive, massive food fight.
Looked like it was a lot of fun. Looked like they were just having a good time. I loved Kevin Owens crawling under the table.
Kevin Owens immediately crawls under the table and just tries to weather the storm.
Yeah.
Cesaro and Apollo Crews are locked in an arm wrestle through the entire thing.
I was hoping I wrote that down, and I was like, man, I hope Graham writes something about this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Heath Slater what is it, Kane, who appears out of nowhere. Kane and Big Show like have each other in the chokehold.
Well, no, at first it's like Kane gets hit randomly by somebody, and Big Show tries to calm him down. I was like, Kane? Like, it was an accident.
Yeah.
Like, we're sorry. And then he grabs Big Show, and then Big Show grabs Kane.
And Heath Slater throws something at both of them, which is stupid. And then he gets put through a table, and everyone throws more shit on Slater and leaves.
Yeah. And even like, I think it's like Curtis Axel's like just spraying mustard on him.
Yeah.
He's just laughing. It's pretty good. I mean, it's a nice little fun segment.
And then Owens gets out from under the table and stands up.
Yeah.
And goes, this never would have happened on Canada Day.
No, this would never happen on Canada Day.
And that's where that should have ended, by the way. That should have been the cut. But then there's like this weird like fourth wall. It like cuts to like a POV shot with a cake going up into the camera, and then cuts back to Owens as he gets hit with a cake, and it's like, the fuck, what was that? That was weird.
Yeah, and then it should have cut after.
This never would have happened on Canada Day. Yeah. But I did like, though, Owens selling. He's like, he like tries it. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what the point was, but it was fun.
Yeah.
U.S. title match out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Rusev defending the U.S. title because it's just
because Titus won by count out last week, so we're all on board with Titus.
So it's a title match now. Yeah. Titus comes out.
Fuck, man, I lost it. I couldn't stop laughing.
Titus O'Neil, Mega Dad of the Year, comes out wearing an Uncle Sam outfit. He looks so stupid.
Yeah, it looks just as ridiculous as it sounds. I'm sure you're going to get a picture of it up on the screen.
Like, I understand that this Bulgarian guy has the U.S. title.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't have to go that far with, and this guy's the American.
And this guy's Bulgarian. Boo. And here's the American. Yay.
Speaking of Titus O'Neil, I got some information from one of our viewers. Here we go. From Kenneth, that his hand sign and the barking noise he makes are indicates that he is, or was, I guess, a member of the predominantly black fraternity Omega Psi Phi. The hand sign and noise are things that members do to identify themselves as part of the group, so it's like a much less formal military salute.
Yeah.
A strong word of note, if you're in America, brothers of the fraternity are very strict about only them doing the hand signs and the noise. Do not do this.
What? Really?
Yeah. So yeah, the hooks, it's, I think it's meant to represent the bottom of the Greek letter omega. It can be done with one or two arms as seen here. And then, the Roo is dogs are the unofficial mascot, and so it's his.
That's amazing.
It's his frat. So
if they catch you doing it, what's the punishment?
I don't. I imagine they don't take kindly to folk who don't take kindly. I don't know. I'm not going to do it.
I'm not doing it on here because someone might link it.
The problem is like it's part of his thing, and I'm positive that a lot of people who watch the product don't know that. Like us.
Yeah. And what about people doing it in the crowd?
Exactly. The crowd are doing it. They're like, yeah, ooh, right?
Are his frat brothers just losing it? Like, is it like the Stonecutters? Like, are they just watching from like a secret cavern?
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, Titus taps out to the Accolade.
Yeah.
And the best part of this match is that Rusev, after making Titus tap out of the Accolade, grabs the mic and starts chanting USA, USA, and then throws the mic down.
I saw that YouTube comment about the guy saying that, I guess he's from Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how ridiculous Rusev is, and that's the way Rusev talks.
The way Rusev talks
is the way that they talk when they're making fun of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talks like a Bulgarian hick.
Yeah. Which I thought was...
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. On the last episode.
That definitely made me smile, yeah.
Then there's a promo. I was like, oh no. Because later tonight, there'll be a 16-man tag team elimination match with Team USA versus Team Multinational Alliance.
Do you know what I thought when I saw that promo? I was like, man, they've just picked up this episode and just went...
Just thrown it out the window.
Yeah, he just threw it out the window.
Yep.
Like, I was like, oh, well, I mean... I'll take notes, but I have a strong feeling deep down that it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. The social outcasts come out dressed like they're playing Yankee Doodle, dressed like Minutemen, like the classic, like one guy with the flute, and one guy with the drum, and one guy with his head bandaged and the arm in the sling.
Curtis Axel's playing the drums, but just like hitting it like
wham, wham, wham. They're interrupted by Enzo and Cass. Enzo has the poop emoji on his butt.
Yeah.
And you remember we said that thing about them listing cheeses in the previous episode? They were, like Gorgonzola, hard cheddar, medium cheddar, marble cheddar. Yeah. This time, Enzo lists every U.S. president in order.
It's super impressive.
It's really impressive.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cass is so impressed, he just abandons his bit.
Yeah.
I assume that they wrote it that way. But, but Cass was like, I had a whole thing planned for what I was going to say, but I'm not even going to do it now because that was great. And Enzo and Cass win the match against two of the outcasts. I think it's the two that
what do they win with, Graham?
That aren't Bo. The Bada Boom Shakalaka.
We're going to get that move over. God damn it.
Rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher.
Charlotte and Dana Brooke come out and start cutting a promo on Sasha Banks saying that she is jealous.
Yeah.
Which is the go-to for, she wants a shot at my title. She hates me because she's jealous. Yeah. Not because I've ever done wrong.
Yeah.
Sasha comes out and cuts a sweet promo.
Yeah.
It's so good. Charlotte questions why Sasha is even in the conversation. She's like, you aren't even in the title conversation. And Sasha just says, I am the conversation.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you go, girl.
Which was great.
Yeah. I got all fired up.
Sasha ducks a cheap shot from Dana, and there is a scrap, and at the end of it, Sasha stands tall.
Yeah.
Miz talks about Maurice and Saint Jean-Baptiste Day, because it's the provincial holiday in Quebec, and Lorne Elliott, who used to host a CBC show called Madly Off in All Directions, he's really funny, and he lives in Quebec, and he's like, yeah, so Saint Jean-Baptiste Day, which is our provincial holiday, but because it's Quebec, we call it La Fête Nationale. They call it, in Quebec, they call it a national holiday, even though only Quebec celebrates it, because they're Quebec.
Because Quebec! Yeah.
So anyway, because the Miz is just like, hey, also, there's other holidays as well. Just to further put the screws to, to the crowd who were there for Independence Day. He's having a match against Dean. It's a champion versus champion match.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a spectacle match, right? Yeah. So, like you said, take the episode and put it...
Pretty much, because I was like, if you look at this match in a vacuum, who does it benefit? Let's say Miz wins clean.
That would benefit Miz hugely.
Yeah.
Because he's not only the Intercontinental Champion, but then he would have a clean win.
So if Ambrose wins clean, it was just like, okay, I guess that proves that what they think. If Ambrose beats Miz clean, I don't want to say this because I know it's wrong. It devalues the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Because it was like, but it's still the world champion he's losing to, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I always feel like if you lose to the world champion, no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah.
Because you've lost to the guy that is supposedly the best wrestler on the roster.
Exactly.
So, but again, does this match prove anything? Not, or does it move any stories forward?
JBL spends a lot of the match hating that Ambrose is an unmarketable talk show host.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm almost like...
They explained the podiums during the match. They were like, those podiums up there, that's where the general managers will stand when they make their draft picks. And I was like, there we go. Yeah. Dean wins. Good for Dean. Yeah. And then starts to leave and passes Rollins on the ramp as Rollins is coming in for his match. Yeah. Then we go to commercial and we come back and we find that Dean apparently turned around and decided to join commentary for that match. In fact, joining the Spanish commentary.
Oh yeah.
He starts out leaning into the Spanish table and doing commentary in Spanish.
He actually speaks some Spanish too.
And then he's like, all right, cool. Later, and then he comes back to the normal commentary team because it's Rollins versus Ziggler because Ziggler wanted the match.
Yeah, I really like that too.
The storyline is that Ziggler's like, well, the draft is coming up. We don't know which shows you and I are going to end up on. Yeah, I want a match against Rollins while I know I have the chance. Yep. So it's like, oh, all right, cool. Yeah. Rollins wins by countering the zigzag. Yep. And then jumps on the announce table and cuts another promo on Roman's suspension. Yeah. He's like yelling at the crowd, he's like, you like him because you are also lazy. You all cut corners. Yeah. I did the hard work. Yeah. Right? I rehabbed my knee and I did the work and I got back here all by myself.
Hell, Roman shouldn't even be in the upcoming WWE draft. You know, the worst part about it, he's supposed to be a role model for all of you. He's supposed to be a role model for everybody here. But guess what? You're just like he is. You always cut corners, you cheat, and you lie to get to the promised land. None of you, just like Roman Reigns, have worked a day in your stinking lives.
That's where I started to think, like, man, I think Seth is actually upset about this. Because he, regardless of what you think about like what there was written for him, but the fact that he went through the rehab and he did it clean, and then Roman comes and gets suspended, but is still in the title match, you know, I think it stung a little bit.
Yeah. Ambrose gets up on the other table.
Yeah.
And Rollins starts ripping into Ambrose as well. And Ambrose's response is, I mean, nah. And then just hits him.
With the dirty deeds, yeah.
I mean, really good.
Nah.
The Wyatts have a vignette.
Yep.
Come on down to the compound. It's the shining star of Louisiana. I don't know. But yeah, they're like...
Have they ever said where they're from?
No, the compound.
Just the compound?
Yeah, they're only ever billed... If they are billed, they're billed from the compound.
Really?
Yeah.
I never even noticed that before.
Yeah. It's implied they're sort of like Appalachian kind of like... Do the hills have eyes, mountain men, right? But it's never been made clear, I don't think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is the first... Like, that mention of the compound was the first time I'd ever heard it. I don't know if
they hadn't mentioned it in a long time.
Okay.
But it came up a couple of times, like when the Wyatts first were showing up. Excuse me.
But no, wait. First, we got a Baron Corbin promo, just randomly.
Oh yeah.
After
right.
that too.
I forgot there was a Baron Corbin.
Yeah, which
promo.
I liked. I love stuff like this because it was like, hey, this guy's still a thing.
Yeah.
And he's sweet.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. It was just a little vignette.
It's
about
just it was just like Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin.
I'm Baron Corbin.
The lone wolf.
Yeah.
Because of his loneliness.
Yeah. And then, the fuck was this? These are all managers that I didn't watch.
You don't know Vicky Guerrero?
Well, I knew of her.
Oh,
but this shit's
man.
annoying. I wrote, this shit is grating. Please stop.
Yes. No, Vicky's the best. Vicky was amazing. So, this is Vicky Guerrero, widow of the late great Eddie Guerrero.
I know that she, on screen, she had a storyline with like Edge.
Yeah.
And like...
She was around for years. She was the general manager of SmackDown.
I didn't watch any of this. So this John Laurinaitis and
she was one of the few people who could get legitimate heat just for like her
just existing,
for turning her voice up to the most shrill and just yelling "Excuse me" to the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh God! It just made everyone so angry with her. It was great.
I was angry.
Right? She was really really good, and it's one of those things where like Eddie, Eddie died because of he was using drugs.
Yeah.
And his heart gave out.
Yeah.
And WWE was basically like, that's probably on us.
Yeah.
So we are going to employ you for as long as you want. And because Eddie had 2 kids as well, right?
Yeah.
And so they gave her this on-screen role, and boy, she fucking gave it. She did such an amazing work over the years that she was there as this awful woman.
Yeah.
And this actually says a lot. When she retired on her own terms, when she left the company on her own terms, after she also got to slap Steph on her way out.
Nice.
which was great.
Yeah.
The crowd actually did a "Thank you, Vicky" chant.
Sweet.
Even though she was a heel, she was never a face. They hated her all the time, booed her incessantly.
Yeah.
There was still a huge amount of respect for the work that she'd done, which was great.
God bless wrestling. Love it.
So yeah, so she's now.
Yeah. See, I knew who she was.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch a lot of her stuff, and I was like, what the fuck?
Oh God, she's just the most shrill, awful harpy of a woman.
Okay.
It was such a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like philandering with Edge and had a thing with Ziggler, which will come up briefly a little later on. But yeah, so she wants to be general manager of SmackDown.
Yeah.
And Shane is like, no, please go away. Or no, the security just comes out, actually.
Yeah.
Security just comes out and takes her away.
Yeah.
Big Show is giving a pep talk to Team USA. They're lined up like the military.
I loved this.
He's given like a drill sergeant pep talk.
Yeah.
Team USA, which is himself, Apollo Crews, Zack Ryder, Kane, the Dudley Boys, Mark Henry, and of course Jack Swagger.
I found it funny how the Dudley Boys were all of a sudden just like not heels. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
well, they're American, and on today, on July 4th, doesn't matter.
God,
so sure.
Yeah.
Then we see Vicky being kicked out backstage with a bunch of security.
Yeah.
And she's like, Dolph. So they had a storyline where they were like she was major couging on Ziggler. She had like a necklace that said Cougar because she was a general manager, and so Dolph was basically sleeping his way to the title.
Sweet.
Right? And so he was like her boy toy, and that's how he got his title, was during the storyline with Becky, because he is a former world champion.
2-time, isn't he?
2-time.
Yeah.
And that was through that whole storyline when she was general manager of SmackDown. And so they had a huge storyline. They were like at least a year.
Yeah.
And so she's like, Dolph. Well, the security's kicking her out, and Dolph goes, wait, guys. I have never seen this woman in my life.
Yeah. I did.
And she's like, no.
I love like how after they took her away too, he's on the phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, Mom? Yeah, I lost. Tried real hard though.
Yeah.
I loved that. Yeah. That was great.
Breezango is watching the Vaudevillains versus Golden Truth.
Dude, I fucking lost it laughing at the bouncy Goldust head on the lyrics. Yeah. They do like a karaoke of the Golden Truth like theme song, and I couldn't stop laughing.
And Breezango are watching from like the VIP zone or whatever with like a beanbag chair or something. Anyway, Golden Truth wins the match quickly, but it's just really funny.
Dude, Golden Truth, when was the last time they lost? It's been a while.
Yeah, they're on a real tear.
Yeah. Make Darren Young great again. Yeah. Bob Backlund passes on the infamous crossface chicken wing submission finisher to Darren Young, which I thought was really sweet.
He's like, "You have a finisher? You got a finisher?" He's like, "What? Yeah. What's it called? This? Sounds terrible. No. I'm not talking about your finisher. Do you have a way to make them submit?" He's like, "I don't actually have a submission finisher."
Yeah.
Well, then you want the crossface chicken wing. He's like, "You giving me the crossface chicken wing?"
Did Darren Young always do this thing? Like the don't hate. He's got don't. Yeah. Is it always been? Oh,
I think so.
I wasn't sure because when he gets it to the top of the ramp, he does like this pose.
Yeah.
And it says like don't hate or stop hate or something.
I think
like that.
don't H numeral 8. Don't hate. I think don't hate is like a different. I think that's not just him. I think that's like a campaign.
Yeah, like
outside
it's
of the
just like
WWE.
what Titus O'Neil does with like the dad stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's just campaign. Okay, I was just wondering.
Darren Young is
I was just wondering why he does this. I know he has the logos on his forearms, but
Darren Young is the first openly gay member of the roster.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I never even knew that.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was this was a couple years ago, and because I remember it got out there somewhere, and then he confirmed it. He's like, yeah, I am. And TMZ like accosted John Cena at like an airport or something. They're like, hey, what do you think about Darren Young? You know, like he's come out as gay. And John Cena's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, no. Here, look on social media. He actually confirmed it. And then Cena's like, oh, okay. Well, in that case, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And good for him. And you know.
Fucking TMZ.
Yeah, but
sacks of shit.
I just love how John Cena's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they're like, no. He actually said so. And then he's like, oh, okay. Well, if he said so, then great.
Good guy, John Cena.
Yeah. Cena comes out and cuts a promo on the club and also on the crowd a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Which is funny for the July 4th episode.
Because he's like, oh, weird time to get excited. Like, is that this promo? It's the usual Cena stuff. He's like, hey, we're all here to have a good time. And yeah, you guys should be more excited. Like, why aren't you more excited? And he calls out the club.
AJ comes out and says, so things don't go John Cena's way, so it's unfair?
Yeah.
Is that what it's like?
Yeah. I loved this promo.
And they decide that they realized that for the club to run WWE, they need to get rid of Big Match John. They need to get rid of John Cena. And then the club can run the WWE.
Yeah.
So
they talk about...
Hey, Adam.
What?
It's the 4th of July. What are you going to do?
I'm going to beat up John Cena.
Oh, that sounds great.
And he's like, what's next? Labor Day?
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing for Labor Day?
I'm gonna beat up John Cena.
What's next? Halloween? Yeah. What did he say? I'm going to dress up like, God, what did he say? He was like, I'm going to dress up like this and beat up John Cena. It's like,
you're a little more aware of the Bullet Club from New Japan than I am. Has Carl Anderson always been like making sidelong comments about his hot Asian wife?
I don't think so, no, but it's awesome. I just love this. I loved the way
he's like, I'm going to go home. I'm going to hang out with my hot Asian wife, and then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to beat up John Cena.
Like, this makes me, like, every time now that I'm thinking about this segment and all the other segments that the club was in it and how they were acting, I just wish they didn't break them up. I wanted to see more of this.
Yeah.
I loved it. Loved it. Like, they're showing, you know how we talked about, I don't actually feel, I'm always embarrassed about, not always, okay, start from the beginning.
Okay.
I will admit that I am kind of embarrassed the fact that I said that AJ isn't known for his mic skills.
Right.
But I have just loved everything he's done on the mic since he's been in the WWE. It's been great. He is a way better heel than he is a babyface, too.
Yeah.
I love AJ heel way more.
It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And I'm looking forward to...
And a lot of the crowd is... Because they were super entertaining, so a lot of the crowd is still like, woo, club.
Yeah, it's just like the Edge and Christian, or like when New Day were heels, and they were still entertaining.
And I don't, especially now, I don't have any problem with John Cena.
No.
But... Man, the club is really entertaining.
See, the thing with me and John Cena is like I missed that whole era. So it's like when I watched John Cena, which was when I started really watching wrestling was like a couple years ago, and I was like, wow, that John Cena guy is great. Like he's putting on all these great matches, and I liked his U.S. title run, and so I've missed all like the stuff that people got sick of, and I've just seen like this really cool John Cena. So
the club decides to beat up John Cena. So they surround the ring, and they get in the ring. And Cena, this is actually brutal. Cena does not get any offense.
Yeah.
They knock him to the ground, and they just start kicking the piss out of him.
Yeah.
Like, they are really going nuts on him, and he's defenseless.
Yeah.
And then, for some reason, Enzo and Cass rush the ring.
Which they explain later, which is awesome. Because normally you're like, well, why the fuck...
Yes.
Or Enzo and Cass here.
Which I wrote that down, but then I did,
So anyway, they come out, Enzo and Cass make the save,
and
everybody cheers.
Cena and Enzo and Cass are standing tall in the ring.
Yeah.
That's the end of that bit. So Shining Stars promo.
It's an actual heel promo.
Yes.
They actually say, like, stupid, like, stinky America, and like... Finally!
Rather than just, Puerto Rico's great. It's like, that's cool.
That's cool. We've got many bars, and we've got these flowers. But this time they were like, it's not like lazy, stupid, stinky America. Like, you know what I mean?
Becky Lynch versus Summer Rae to actually have the match that they didn't have last week because Bex just started attacking Natalya.
Yeah.
And they have the match and Becky wins.
Yeah. Is this the first match where... I don't know. This is the first instance where I noticed it, was JBL saying, well, maybe the problem's Becky. I can't remember if he's mentioned it before.
I don't know.
He must have. I know someone will correct me.
That seems like something JBL would have gone to pretty quickly.
But I actually like that. I was like, hey, what if the problem is Becky? Because like everyone turns on her, right? That's her stigma. Mm-hmm. So I was like, good shit, JBL.
Now Jericho is trying to give a pep talk to the multinational alliance.
This is so good.
Which is Jericho, Del Rio, the Lucha Dragons, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Sheamus.
Yeah.
Del Rio is like, who the hell put you in charge? And is sort of like knocking elbows with the Lucha Dragons. He's like, hey, who put this Perro in charge or whatever? And so Jericho starts ripping on all three of them in Spanish.
Yeah.
And it's like, I did not know Jericho knew Spanish. And the Lucha Dragons also look confused.
That's awesome.
Oh, he's heard everything that we've said. It's like one of those moments. And so they all bicker back and forth and then leave. And then Zayn, Cesaro, and the Lucha Dragons, who are the faces, are like, look, they put us on this team, but let's go out there, let's show this crowd what America is all about, which is diversity and friendship.
Which is weird coming from the mouth of Sami Zayn. I think they should have given that line to Cesaro. I don't know why. It's just as a Canadian watching another Canadian say something like that.
Yeah.
Offends me a little bit. I'm
just that America is diversity and friendship?
I don't know. It's just... Look, we're the best, okay?
The distinction, if you're curious, is people talk about a melting pot.
Yeah.
Talk about America being a melting pot.
Yeah.
Whereas Canada has traditionally been referred to as a cultural mosaic.
Yeah.
which is distinct because the melting pot, everything goes in and turns into the one color. But Canada is your little square is still distinctly you.
Yeah.
But it forms a more pleasant whole.
I think it was just because, I was like, you should be pumping Canada's tires, not the States. You know what I mean?
There
Like,
you go.
as a devout Canadian.
Yeah. Canada still has a lot of problems with race. It's not.
Yeah, we're not perfect. I'm not saying like, hey, everything's great up here.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's okay. Dude, this Enzo and Cass Sonic commercial was so funny.
Oh, what you got there?
A couple taters.
Got a couple taters? Got a couple taters in there? Couple taters. God damn it.
I loved it.
Anyway,
For the uninitiated,
we don't have Sonic
Enzo
here.
says we got a couple haters.
Got a couple haters?
Got a couple haters, yeah. That was just all I wanted to talk about was the couple taters
Isn't
line.
Sonic like trash tier fast food?
I have
too?
no idea.
It's regional. We
Doesn't
do not
Sonic
have Sonic.
Yeah,
around here.
no, I've been to a Sonic before and it was fine. Like, I think they have like, all I had was like, they have like peach tea and stuff like that, like different drinks, and they do like ice cream.
Yeah, I think they're from like the
milkshakes.
southeast more.
Yeah, but I remember having a drink from there. And I was like, "Hey, this is pretty good."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I don't know about the food from Sonic. I
I don't know. Never been to a White Castle either.
Neither have I. And that's
understand
my
that.
one life regret.
Gotta get on that one, yeah. I did, when they were exclusive to the US, we did stop at KFC and have a double down once.
James brought me back one from the States.
Back.
Yeah, and I
it's
had
like
to. It was
cold
like
and awful.
11:30 at night, and they came back from. I think they were in Seattle or something.
Or something?
Made me eat it. Yeah.
They're really salty.
Yeah, dude. It was like all cold and like congealed, and like I pulled it out, and it was just like it's just 2 pieces of chicken with some shit mashed in between.
It's not like bacon, chicken, and cheese is fine.
Yeah.
There's actually nothing wrong with a double down.
Yeah.
They're just really salty.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? The New Day.
Yeah.
And the announcers put over the Wyatts for Coach, but not on the show. They talk about, the Wyatt family is going to be on Sports Center talking to Coach on ESPN, Jonathan Coachman. And they're like, watch out, Coach. Holy crap, the Wyatts are coming. They're terrifying. I don't envy Coach's job tomorrow. That's going to be, They never say this about the Wyatts when they're in the arena. They're just like, ooh, it's kind of creepy.
The Wyatts.
These Fireflies are kind of creepy. They're never like, I'm legitimately terrified of these guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is the beginning of them doing that, or if they're just ripping on Coach, but it's anyway.
Sometimes the WWE gets it right.
Xavier continues to look confused and nervous about the other two.
Yeah.
Not spreading rumors about the Wyatts. They're like, if someone said this about the Wyatts, that would be bad, but that's not something we would do. And he's like,
Stop.
They're interrupted by a Wyatt promo on the Titantron.
Yeah.
Bray implies the New Day are afraid and they're hiding behind their jokes.
Yeah.
And they restate the invitation to come down to the compound.
Yeah.
And Kofi and Big E are like,
Yeah.
all right, sure, we'll come down to the compound. We'll beat you up.
Yeah.
And Xavier is freaked out.
Yeah, dude.
He is selling the Wyatts so hard.
So good.
He's like, and what he says is, I am legit worried about us going down to the compound because if you two don't see the threat he is, then I don't think the New Day can survive.
Yeah, and then he
just
walks
leaves.
Out. Dude, I don't know if he'll never see this, but Xavier Woods, you have single-handedly saved the Wyatt family.
No kidding.
It is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on board with this the first moment you started acting scared, and this was just like, yes! I was just like, yes! Fuck yes!
When he started leaving, there was a woman in the crowd going, no! No! It was so good. Shout outs to that woman for also helping.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a main event shit show inbound.
Yeah.
I actually loved the introductions because
They came up to the national anthems?
it was like representing Switzerland, Cesaro.
Yeah.
Representing Ireland, Sheamus.
Yeah.
Representing Mexico, Alberto Del Rio, Sin Cara, and Kalisto.
Yeah.
And then representing Canada, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And was that all the people? That was 8? 1, 2, 3. And
then the Americans. Yeah.
And then the Americans come out to their own theme because they're American.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of this whole match, because the match was like, it was a big tag team elimination match. It was a big thing.
Yeah.
Swagger offers Cesaro a fist bump. Because when they tag in, there's been a couple eliminations. Cesaro's in, Swagger tags in, and it's just like, because Swagger's a face and Cesaro's a face, and they're like, hey man, if we're going to fight, let's.
Well, they used to be tag partners too.
And he offers him a fist bump.
Yeah.
And then Cesaro's like, goes for it and then thinks better, and he's like, wait a minute. hey, remember this thing?
Remember this thing we used to
and
do?
then Jack's like, yeah. And then they both do the, we the people.
Yeah.
And then they fight. Because, they were both in a heel stable.
Yeah.
They were both bad guys at the time.
Yeah.
But, as the
real Americans.
The real Americans.
There was that Zeb Coulter guy, if you remember, he was with Del Rio briefly.
That was really, I remember thinking at the time that was really a big, like a pinpoint that you could point to the Real Americans stable versus old WWE stuff. That the Real Americans, their angle was like, it's Real America, it's we the people, it's the founding fathers, it's filthy immigrants coming in and stealing our jobs, and they were bad guys.
Yeah.
Right? They were heels, you were meant to boo them, you were meant to be like, man, what a laughable thought, you racist assholes, get out of our ring, right? Yeah. And it did not used to be that way.
Yeah.
Right? And so I remember looking at the Real American angle and being like, all right, that's pretty cool. But I just loved this little moment between, because that was years ago.
Yeah, that was forever ago.
And Swagger still has the gimmick, kind of. He's been like languishing with it.
Because they broke up after Cesaro won the Andre the Giant battle, the first one, I think.
Yeah.
He won the inaugural, and he became a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah, briefly.
Jack Swagger still has the best theme music, though. Holy shit, I love it.
Jericho baits Swagger into the Swagger bomb.
Yeah.
Like, Swagger hits him, and then without Swagger noticing, Jericho just goes, whoop, and like falls over in position for the Swagger bomb, which is a corner move where Swagger jumps up in the corner and just lands on you like a belly bomb. And then Swagger's like, great, and runs in to do it. And then Jericho, I thought he was going to put his knees up. Yeah. He put his feet up and kicked Swagger in the face. Just wham.
Yeah.
Mark Henry just catches Kalisto.
Yeah.
Just catches him out of the air.
Yeah. And eventually...
which is immediately followed by Kevin Owens getting a pop-up power bomb on Mark Henry.
He's done it before.
I forgot, I guess.
Yeah, there was a Raw match between the two.
What?
Randomly, I can't remember. Way back, even shortly after the Royal Rumble, maybe? Or maybe it was even I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And he did a pop-up power bomb to Mark Henry, and it was just like, what? Yeah.
Rules clarification question for you.
Yep.
Kevin Owens.
Oh, I wrote this down too.
Gets himself DQ'd.
Yeah.
How does he uses a chair?
He uses a chair on, I want to say Sammy?
Right, because they're bickering in the corner.
Yeah.
So he gets disqualified.
Yeah.
Because this is an elimination tag match, so each person gets eliminated. It's 2 teams of 8, and then whichever team has people left over wins.
Oh, no, he doesn't hit Sammy. He hits someone else from the other team.
So he gets disqualified.
Yeah.
So then Kane picks up the chair and hits Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
And then Kane gets disqualified?
Yeah, I was fucking confused.
Why do you get disqualified for hitting someone who's not in the match?
I don't know.
I don't think that's how that works.
It doesn't work like that, but I think they just needed a way to get rid of him. I was like, I have no idea, man. I don't think, by the rules that he should have been eliminated, but...
Yeah. The multinational alliance is now down to Jericho, Del Rio, Sheamus, and Cesaro.
Yeah.
So the 3 heels they basically unicorn stampede. Like, they just tag through beating the crap out of Zack Ryder and refusing to tag Cesaro in.
Yeah.
So they're just like, punch, 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 tag, punch, 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 tag, punch, 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 tag. Cesaro eventually uppercuts the whole rest of his team.
Yeah, he gets really upset. He's like, he tags himself in.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the hell, man? Like, we had it under control. And he's like...
Because Zayn and Owens were already fighting. Yeah. And now these guys are already fighting.
Yeah.
You know those nations other than America. Such disunity. So the final 4 are Big Show, Zack Ryder, Sheamus, and Alberto Del Rio. Ryder gets the pin.
Yeah.
With an assist from Big Show.
Big Show.
Big Show throws, I think it's Sheamus.
Yeah, Sheamus is the one who eats the final pin, I think.
Big Show throws him into the ring, and then Ryder gets the pin.
He gets the hype rider or whatever on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was a 16-man elimination match.
It's about as good as you can hope for out of a 16-man elimination match.
Pretty much, yeah.
Raw for July 11th.
Yeah.
We open with a battle royal.
Yeah. How random is this?
For the number 1 contendership.
Actually, we open to a shot of the ring being full.
Yeah.
And then Apollo Crews music hits.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah.
It was like, and Apollo Crews. What is going on?
Yeah.
It's battle royal for the number 1 contendership for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Miz clears his throat and talks about how he thinks it's great for all these superstars. It's great that you guys are trying.
Yeah. Good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'll be here still being champ.
I loved how the announcers bring up that Baron Corbin requested that the armbar trophy be at ringside for intimidation purposes.
Yeah, I liked that too. I wrote that in as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Someone in the crowd has a sign that says, "I went AWOL for this."
Really? Jesus.
I wouldn't do that for Raw.
I don't think it's worth it.
That's what I wrote down. Yeah. In the last episode, I was like, isn't that weird that the Lucha Dragons weren't a team on the draft?
Yeah.
I didn't know they'd broken up.
Yeah, they just mentioned it like offhandedly.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, they're not a team anymore. It's
yeah.
Like, wait, what?
Well, why? Okay.
Yeah.
And they asked Miz about the draft, and he's like, well, tag teams can get broken up. I mean, I was part of one of the greatest tag teams ever, Miz and Morrison, and then we got broken up in the draft, and then I went to the main event of WrestleMania, and he doesn't work here anymore. Which was great. By the way, John Morrison, now Johnny Mundo, is in Lucha Underground, and still has rock hard abs and is great. That was like his whole thing, was he did cool flippy shit and had amazing abs. Yeah. Fair enough.
Fair enough. Sometimes that's all you need.
Good for you, Johnny Nitro. The Usos do a thing where one of the Usos tries to eliminate the other one, but it doesn't work, and then they're both like, I almost got you.
Yeah. And I thought the other one was going to do it, and then they was going to reverse it, try it again.
Yeah.
But, I didn't write down, who eliminated who and everything.
No, me neither.
The ending of the match comes when Corbin and Cruz get tangled up with each other and eliminate each other at the same time. Mm-hmm. And Darren Young is off in the corner somewhere, just hanging out. And then
he just had his bell on.
Yeah, he just looks absolutely surprised that he won.
Darren Young won the Battle Royal and is the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I was as surprised as everyone else, I think.
Hey, I'm just glad he's wrestling.
There was a Darren Young chant.
Yeah,
good for him.
Bob Backlund's at ringside.
Yeah.
Can I just briefly mention regarding this match that JBL, it's not enough that he made the mistake in the first place.
Yeah.
It's that he full on corrected himself by saying out loud, "I'm sorry, I got confused with Titus. I meant Apollo Crews."
What?
Yeah. He's like, oh, Titus. He's like, oh, Titus over there trying to do the thing. And then later on he's like, I'm sorry, I meant Apollo Crews. And it's like,
I got caught in the heat of the moment, Maggle.
Just watch out, JBL, because this is Darren Young who won the match.
Yeah.
Just so we're all clear.
Yeah.
Vince is going to be on Raw.
Yeah.
Shane and Steph were discussing why. They're like, why is Vince here? And Shane's like, oh, gee, let me think, Steph. Why might Vince be here? I don't know. There's like a million reasons he could be here. And Steph's like, yeah, Shane, I know, but shut up. She's like, yes, obviously, it could, whatever.
Yeah.
Rollins comes in and requests an opportunity to do the Rollins report. Because he says he was this close to taking over the Daily Show from Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Before they went with Trevor Noah.
And he says that they need to put their best face forward ahead of the draft, which is him.
Yeah.
And
he's like, I'm your #1 draft
I've got
pick.
a hot scoop. I got the hottest scoop.
I like he's referring to himself as the #1 draft pick.
Yeah,
because that ended up being the case.
Yeah, he's just assuming that he's #1, right?
Yeah.
And he says that he has the hottest scoop on Roman Reigns ever of him being completely disrespectful to the entire WWE universe. And so they're like, yeah, sure, sounds good.
There's an update that Brock Lesnar beat his opponent at UFC 200.
Yeah,
which is neat.
Mark Hunt, big tough Kiwi fella. Mm-hmm. My boss went to school with Mark Hunt.
Really?
Yeah.
Zack Ryder challenges Rusev for the U.S. title.
Yep.
But before Rusev can respond, Sheamus attacks Ryder because Sheamus and Ryder have a match. So, because what is this? Yeah, Ryder pinned Sheamus in the Battle Royal last week, or in the tag match last week.
Yeah.
And then beat him on SmackDown.
Okay.
So now they're having another match. Mm-hmm. Except that Sheamus attacked him backstage, so Ryder's kind of like selling his arm that he's hurt.
Yeah.
Sheamus wins. And then Rusev shows up to attack Ryder, who gets a little bit of offense, but then gets put in the accolade, the full bending over backwards accolade.
I actually like that more than just the regular one.
What I love though is he's grabbing Ryder, pulling him, bending him over backwards, and yelling, "I accept! I accept! I accept your I accept your challenge! I accept your challenge!"
Rusev is the best.
So he's like, "Oh, I guess Ryder's going to get a U.S. title match."
Yeah.
Breezango versus the Lucha Dragons, so they haven't broken up yet. That's the next week. Kalisto. This is great, actually. So Kalisto botches a springboard.
Yeah.
Because he's going to bounce off the second rope, but like misses and falls and whatever. And him and Breeze just perfectly work to get them to repeat the smot.
Yeah.
Like he messes up and then Breeze like grabs him and throws him into the ropes again on a different angle so that he can set up for the spot again.
Yeah.
So that you almost I thought it was good that it didn't look obviously like, oh, we messed it up, let's do that again.
Yeah.
It looked really smooth, which I liked. And Breezango wins the match.
Yes.
So the Rollins report.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins comes out.
Oh my God, this is the best.
He comes out into the ring. He's like, it's the Rollins report. Here's my exclusive interview.
And he's like, take a hike, Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking. So Seth Rollins has taken pre-recorded footage of Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then spliced like his own questions.
This is a Weird Al interview.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it reminded me of. Oh my God, I forgot all about those.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah. So I remember one time, wasn't there a Weird Al interview where like he cut his own liver out or something? Yeah. God damn, that was gold. Okay, but Roman is, so there's points where Rollins asks these questions like, it's like, how do you feel knowing that you have disappointed the universe and all these fans? He's like, it makes me want to vomit. Like just the way.
He's like, so you admit to your wrongdoing. You show no remorse. You admit to your wrongdoing. And Reigns is like, I did it.
Yeah, that's the best.
He's like smiling like, I did it.
I did it.
I did it.
I did it. I did it. And then the best is after all this, right at the end, they just cut in a shot of Roman being like, well, that went well.
Because I think this is like taken from from the Michael Cole sit-down interview with Reigns after he finally won the title.
Yeah.
And it's just Rollins splicing in his own questions. Fuck, it's so good.
It's awesome. See, this is where I was confused. It's like, is this them? Okay, so Rollins is Rollins supposed to be a heel? Should we not be looking at these wrestlers through that lens anymore?
Probably. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Which is probably fine.
Yeah. But Dean Ambrose comes out.
Yeah. And Rollins criticizes Dean for doing everything that Rollins does.
Yeah.
Rollins is like, you used your Money in the Bank briefcase and you jumped me from behind and you stole the briefcase and you do this and you do that. And it's like, so do you.
Yeah.
You do all these things.
Yeah. I like how Dean said that was like congratulating Seth on the interview thing. He's like, oh, I'm so glad you're starting to have a little bit of fun with this. You don't just have to stick in your butt. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm glad you're having fun with this. And Rollins is like, what, you think this is fun? And man, this is amazing from Dean. This whole segment from Dean is amazing.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, I had to be the backbone of this company.
Yeah.
Because I'm that good, and now the whole world knows I'm that good. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's when he refers to himself as having been put in the position of having to be the backbone of the company.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, Cena was injured and everyone was shitting on Reigns and Rollins was out and, you know, he was the top face.
Yeah.
Whether or not they want to admit it, he was the top.
Whether or not he was booked like that, he was the top face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hearing him like say that.
I proved a long time ago that I'm more than just a joke, that I'm more than just a utility player, because no matter how many guys came in and washed out or got themselves suspended or went to chase fantasies in some other sport, when the smoke cleared at the end of the day, I'm the guy still standing here. I'm the backbone of this industry. I'm the king of this company. It's been that way for a long time now, and now the whole world knows it.
Oh, they go on about Rollins says that he wants his one-on-one match with Dean, and Dean says, well, I can beat you anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it next week.
Oh, he says...
Or he's like, let's do it right now. Sorry,
Yeah, he says, let's do it right now, because he says, you know what I went through to get this. So how far do you think I'd be willing to go to keep it?
Yeah.
Not you, Roman Reigns, Vince McMahon, God himself can pry this from my cold, dead hands.
God.
So if you want to have a match, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Sure, but next week.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, so we got a title match next week on Raw. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins.
Because if you can find this one, look up this promo, just because Dean, I was so impressed with.
Dude, these last 4 weeks, there have been little promos for every feud that I felt have been very strong.
Yeah.
Like everybody was top notch. at least once during these like the build-ups.
Zayn is on commentary for a match between Kevin Owens and Cesaro.
Yeah.
Because Owens was on commentary for a Sami Zayn match on, I guess,
SmackDown, yeah.
And so Zayn was like, well, I'm going to be on commentary for Owens' match. Of course, Owens interfered with Sami's match.
Yeah.
And so Sami's like, well, I'm just going to sit here on commentary. And Kevin Owens' music hits, and nothing happens. And they're like, where is he? And we cut backstage. And Kevin Owens and 3 refs.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not going out there. That's an unsafe work environment. Unsafe work environment.
God bless you, Kevin Owens.
Because Sami Zayn's out there. He's like, I don't want to go out there. He's going to attack me.
Yeah.
It's like, gee, I wonder fucking why, Kevin. So then Steph shows up and he's like, she's like, what's going on here? And Kevin's like, explains the whole thing with Sami, and Steph goes, well, come on, refs, kick him out of there.
Yeah.
So it goes back to ringside, and Sami's like, I have approval to be here. I'm allowed to be here. And then the 3 refs come out, and Sami's like, all right, fine. I guess I'm going backstage. Fine. And so they pass each other on the ramp.
Yeah.
And of course, they just start fighting on the ramp.
That's just
Like, what did you think was going to happen, Kevin? Why didn't you wait? And then we see that Vince is arriving.
Yeah.
So I was like, what about the match? But we go back to the match. But Renee comes up to Vince and is like, why are you here? And because he's going to be naming the commissioner
Yes.
of SmackDown. Okay.
Okay, dude.
Cesaro comes out for the match. It's Kevin Owens versus Cesaro.
Yeah.
It's a good match. Owens wins.
Yeah.
And then gets down and goes to yell at Michael Cole.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere,
Like absolute nowhere.
Sami Zayn flies over the barricade and takes out Owens.
Yeah.
And then throws him back at the ring, and Owens gets the Cesaro swing.
That's awesome. Yep. Then we get a backstage statement with the club, and they're asking where John Cena is. They're talking about John Cena hosting the ESPYs.
Yeah, which is the ESPN Sports Awards.
Yeah. So
He's practicing? Practicing?
Oh, yeah.
Why do they keep saying that? They're like, he's practicing?
I don't know.
I don't know why they keep saying that.
But it's great.
Yeah.
I don't care why, but it's just the way they deliver it. It's like, oh, God bless you. We got Heath Slater versus Titus.
They used to be a tag team.
What?
Slater Gator
The fuck?
was the name of the tag team.
That is an awful name for a tag team.
Oh, yeah. They referenced it during the match. They're like, oh, yes, the former Slater Gator. And it's like, and I even was like, oh, yeah. I vaguely remember that. I think this was, I can't remember if this was before or after 3-Man Band.
The fuck was 3-Man Band?
Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal, and Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
And then, see, because Heath Slater used to refer to, Heath Slater was in Nexus.
Yeah.
And then he was in the Core, which was when Nexus went to SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then he was sort of on his own. And then his gimmick was he's the one-man band because he left the teams.
Yeah.
I'm the one-man band, baby. And then he joined they made the 3-man band, or 3MB.
Yeah.
And then when, you remember a couple episodes ago I was talking about how there used to be like yearly cullings of the roster?
Yeah.
When it was like, and we've let go Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. And everyone was like, and not Heath Slater?
Yeah.
But
Was it a good group?
they were fine. I prefer the Social Outcasts. The thing is, individually, Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal were very good.
Yeah.
And just sort of wasted. Like Drew McIntyre, who's now was on TNA in the Indies as Drew Galloway, has been great.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal, I don't know what he's been wrestling in otherwise, but he was put in the unenviable position of being like Great Khali's cousin or something, because he's from India.
Okay.
And it wasn't great, but yeah, 3-Man Band was like fine. They were the Social Outcasts of their day. I prefer the Social Outcasts more.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, it was just kind of weird that then Titus and Slater formed a brief tag team as Slater Gator, because Titus from Florida probably would be Anyway, so they fight. And shockingly, Titus wins this match. Yeah. And I guess it's JBL says of Slater, he's going to be enjoying Blueberry Muffin Day through a straw. In the hospital, I guess.
Fuck JBL.
Sasha's backstage.
Yep.
And she has a match with Dana tonight.
Yep.
And now it's time
Yes.
for the Final Deletion 2.
Yes. Dude, I didn't even think about that until you messaged me on Twitter. I was like, oh, did you watch the Final Deletion 2? I was like, the swamp fight? Question mark. Like, it's like, yeah, I was shot like pretty much the same way. I was like, oh yeah, it was.
I mean, like, I don't think, obviously WWE does not need to like rip on TNA or whatever. But I think it's pretty clear that like someone backstage was like, oh, we should try something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and that fair play, right?
Yeah.
Okay. These are two independent things.
Okay.
I think this is super cool. I also think that it was shot a little too grindhouse for my liking.
Yeah.
Like just the filters and how it was shot.
Yeah.
It's a little tricky to see what's going on.
It was very dark.
Yeah, it was just dark and the camera moved a lot and it was difficult to see what was going on. So I think this was a really cool idea that was maybe marred by some middling execution, but I still think it was a cool idea.
Yeah.
But it's New Day showing up at the compound.
Yeah.
And then they have this cinematically shot wrestling fight.
The Wyatts come charging in like a Malibu and just like T-bone the New Day's car that they came in.
Yeah.
I messaged you, I was like, man, I think somebody's almost died at least a half a dozen times throughout this fight.
Yeah.
They brawl around for a while. Xavier Woods runs off and is like hiding behind a tree, and Bray Wyatt swings a pickaxe and almost hits him in the head.
Yep.
And then beats up Xavier and brings him back to the car, and then like throws him in the car, and then starts beating the car up, and throw like a rock through the windshield and everything. Braun Strowman is just being big and Braun Strowman.
I think what this and the final deletion showed is that people who are good at shooting wrestling are not good at shooting things that are meant to be cinematic and edited. Mm-hmm. I think they should have got, in both cases, I think they should have got someone who has at least some experience with shooting narrative action scenes on just to help.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it felt very disjointed.
Yeah.
And I think it could have been
a lot better.
This could have been like way fucking better. Yeah. As it is, I thought it was still pretty awesome. Sweet. Yeah.
I still loved it.
Yeah.
Like, it was so cool. Like, it was just different.
I hope they do something more like this, and I hope that they do it better. But yeah.
Yeah, it was different. It was weird, and it was kind of creepy. Mm-hmm. And the violence seemed realish. You know, like it was real enough. You know, like it looked like they were actually beating the crap out of each other.
At the end of this segment, the New Day are they've grouped back together, and then the whole forest, because it's in like a field at the edge of a forest, and the whole forest with a line of cars like lights up with fireflies, and like even more people with sheep masks and lanterns come out of the forest, and the New Day is like, okay, goodbye.
See you later.
And even JBL is selling the gimmick at this point.
Yeah.
Even JBL is like, that's too creepy. I'm out. This is not okay.
Yeah.
And that whole segment was great.
I just want to see more of that. More of that, please.
Now we have a match with the Club versus Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
And this is where Enzo and Cass explain why they helped John.
Yeah. Enzo and Cass are like, we want John Cena's spot.
Yeah.
Like, don't get us wrong.
We want to be the top of this company.
We want to be the top of the thing. But if we're going to take that guy's spot, we want to earn it. And we know that you guys are trying to take him out. And what happens when if you manage to take him out, then what? Probably going to come after us at some point. And it was like, rather than just sit around and wait for it to happen, we decided to come out and, be a bit proactive in our own futures.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect. Simple explanation. Like, it was a couple sentences.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay. That's why. Yeah. Loved it.
Enzo and Cass versus Ganderson with AJ at ringside.
Yeah.
And then unsurprisingly, at some point, AJ gets in the ring.
Yeah.
And then, actually surprisingly, John Cena is there.
Yeah.
And he comes down and they all fight.
I love how when Cena's music hit, the club all just looked at, like, Ganderson looked at AJ like, you said he wasn't here. He's like, I don't know, man, I don't know.
Don't put this on me.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Dana versus Sasha, continuing this storyline.
Yeah.
This is a long match.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
And Sasha's having some real difficulty putting Dana away. Because Dana's tough.
Yeah, it's a tough little cookie.
Yeah, and Sasha's getting some real, like, sort of...
time to showcase, like, what she can do in the ring.
Yeah, but also some real sort of baby face kind of, like, overcoming challenge kind of thing.
Yeah, like she's not invincible. The ending I loved.
When she kicks off the ropes.
Yeah.
She has Dana in the bank statement. Dana's heading for the ropes to try and break the hold.
Yeah.
And so Sasha gets up, kicks off the ropes, and gets back in the bank statement again.
Reminded me of like an alligator, like a death roll.
Yeah.
Like she had her locked in and just like flipped her over and just put her right back in this bank statement.
Sasha wins.
Yep.
And then Charlotte starts really like, she starts ripping on Sasha, but like really defensively, just like really like, well, you know, okay, but whatever. Like really, like like she's not confident in herself basically at this point. It's McMahon time.
Yay! I am not gonna lie to you when I say I'm looking forward to not seeing this stuff anymore.
Yeah,
it's wearing its welcome. I mean, we haven't been. It hasn't been as bad as it used to be, but even still, I'm like, I need something new to look at. The Vince swagger walk is in full effect.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
The crowd is chanting for Shane O'Mac, and Steph is trying to. The crowd's like, Shane O'Mac, and Steph's like, sucks.
Yeah,
Shane O'Mac
sucks. She's like, oh, stuff basically writes itself. Yeah.
So Vince comes down and is disappointed that Steph has been so sweet.
Yeah.
And that she has not been as ruthless as she should be.
Yeah.
And Steph's like, I'm not. Ask the crowd. Am I sweet? Yeah. See.
Yeah.
And Vince says, you lost the match at WrestleMania. You shouldn't even be here. Yeah. And we're all like, yep.
Yeah. We're just like,
yeah. But it's because the crowd likes him that he's there, so okay, sure, fine.
Yeah.
And Vince is disappointed that they've been getting along so well.
Yeah.
He's like, I wanted to see you at each other's throats. I wanted aggression, damn it.
It's weird that a dad is saying this to his kids.
Yeah. But it's Vince. He's a crazy man.
I want to see you slit each other's throats. It's like, holy shit, Dad. You relax.
And so he asks them to make a case for which one of them should be commissioner of SmackDown.
Yeah.
And they make their cases. Basically, Steph's case is that Shane is terrible, and Shane's case is that he's great.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's... Yeah. To sum it up, yeah.
If I had to be really reductive.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
And so Vince decides that Shane will be commissioner for SmackDown.
Yeah, he loses his mind, does a little victory lap around the ring.
But that Steph will be commissioner for Raw.
Yeah, there we go. To the surprise.
And he wants them to compete.
Yeah. I want to see, we're going to be comparing ratings. We're going to be comparing buy rates.
Social media impressions.
Presence, I think it says, But yeah.
And he wants them to pick general managers.
General managers, yeah.
Because he's like, you can't run this by yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It was an okay segment. I mean, we kind of knew that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. One or the other was going to be running each show, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't really much of a surprise. It's always nice to see Vince, though. I just like seeing Vince in the ring.
Everyone does. Everyone
just likes him talking, and
they like cheering him, they like booing him.
The crowd singing along to his theme song.
Yeah,
is pretty great. Here we go. Go home Raw.
The Go Home Raw for Battleground.
Yeah,
July 17th. Steph opens the show. Yay! And then Shane.
Yay!
And they announce that, in addition to everything else that's happening with the commissioners and the GMs and the draft, they're also adding a cruiserweight division that will exist exclusively on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Which is obviously part of the success of the Cruiserweight Classic.
Have you watched any of it?
No. I have. I watched an episode. It was
really?
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched both the episodes so far.
It's done very much more like a tournament.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's very much like, the following. It has a 20-minute time limit.
Did you know that one guy couldn't make the weight limit, so they just didn't let him wrestle?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. But it's still like predetermined finishes, right? I don't know how you do that with a tournament. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
It's all kayfabe, right?
Yeah, but I mean, as far as what I'm seeing from the Cruiserweight Classic, Kota Ibushi, who was apparently signed by the WWE, is a bona fide star. Mm-hmm. He was awesome to watch.
Tajiri.
Yeah, Tajiri's back, which was awesome. I am a huge Tajiri fan.
He's 47, they said?
He looks good.
He looks really, really good. Yeah. He looks like he's so weird, too, the way he moves.
We got to see the tarantula, which got the crowd excited.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander was awesome. I don't know, did you watch the episode? Okay, you saw the Tajiri one. Did you see that TJ Perkins guy?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I fell in love with that guy immediately. He had a guy in a head scissors on the ground, and he dabbed. When he had him it was awesome. Yeah, so much fun.
So the graphics on Raw that they've shown for the Cruiserweight division use the same sort of like Street Fighter characters silhouettes as the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
So I don't know if, because they're like the Cruiserweight division coming to Raw, and I don't know if like, are these just going to be normal wrestlers? Or are they going to have storylines? Or is it like, and now a match in the Cruiserweight division?
Yeah.
And it's just like a much more, like presented much more like a tournament thing. I'm super confused as to what that's actually going to look like. I still don't understand why Kalisto's on SmackDown, but here we are.
If they're going to do it like they did in WCW, early on in the Cruiserweight division in WCW, they just did it as a way to get the crowd into... There wasn't a lot of effort put into the storylines. A lot of the central storyline stuff all revolved around Chris Jericho. Like Chris Jericho versus Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho versus Juventud Guerrera.
They would just be like, and now a Cruiserweight match.
Pretty much.
And they'd have the match and be like, and now no more of that.
Show. Yeah, pretty much. They would just open the show to be like a hot match to get the crowd into the... Usually Rey Mysterio.
Fair enough.
I mean, they injected more storylines into it as it went along. But maybe I'm remembering wrong. There was like, I mean, I'm not saying there was no storyline, but it was very minimal. It was just there as like this is to showcase these guys who can wrestle.
Also, because Raw is 3 hours and SmackDown is 2 hours, Raw gets 3 draft picks for every 2 that SmackDown gets.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, it makes total makes complete sense. But still, oof. Steph announces the general manager for Raw is Mick Foley!
Yay!
Mrs. Foley's baby boy. Crowd loves it.
Looks like Charles Manson.
He does. He's looking well though.
Yeah, he looks good.
The DDP yoga.
Yeah, helps out, man. Saves lives.
He had a lot of extra weight a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Shane announces his general manager for SmackDown,
which the crowd kind of ruined.
Kinda
for me.
I didn't.
Not ruined as in. But spoiled.
Yeah. I had no idea. But yeah, it was Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
So excited. I'm just glad to see Daniel again.
Yeah.
Like seeing him. I know like he's been
doing commentary on the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah. Which he's been good.
Yeah.
And I know that I think I've heard people talk about how if Daniel wasn't, because he's under contract with WWE still. And if he wasn't on contract, he probably would have gone to wrestle somewhere else. I think we talked about this.
Talked about this last episode.
So I'm glad they found a way to use him.
Yeah. Well, he talks about that. I think in one of these backstage segments, actually, he talks about that. Or where did I hear him talking about this? Where he was like, he said, "I thought that."
Oh yeah. He talks about that in this episode.
In this episode, yeah, where he's like, I thought that if I couldn't wrestle, then that was it.
I think it was actually in this segment.
Yeah.
And he's like, this made me want to come back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I love this business too much, and I can't just like come back and not wrestle. You know, I can't be like just this figurehead.
Yeah.
Which is like always a lot of passion.
And they talk about how, because this is what Cesaro said in that interview that we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
They talk about how they want SmackDown to focus more on the wrestlers and have it be a more technical show and not focus on the authority figures.
Yeah.
And Raw makes no such promises. So the first match on the show tonight is Cesaro and Sami Zayn versus Jericho and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
This match exists because they talk about a lot on commentary, but because of the draft, this may be the last time we see these guys on the same brand. We don't know how it's going to shake everything up. All 4 of these guys ended up on Raw, so...
oh shit, they did!
Yeah. So it's like, I guess that wasn't the case. Yeah. The match is fine.
Dude, there's one point where Sammy does like this leapfrog, and then he baits Jericho into when he pulls the ropes down. And then he's going to do that plancha that he does to the outside, and he goes to run, and Kevin Owens just steps in front of him like on the apron, so he can't bounce off the ropes. And he's just like... Sorry. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, but Sammy rolls up Jericho, and they get the win.
Backstage, some superstars are trying to butter up Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
And Steph shows up and starts ripping on Daniel Bryan a bit.
Calls him Chucky.
Calls him Chucky because he's like the doll that won't die. That keeps coming back.
Daniel Bryan's like, well, he used to call me Goatface, so upgrade.
Chucky's an improvement.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you've been adding new insults to your repertoire of also ruining Monday Night Raw. And then leaves.
There was like all these little segments were just like little jabs at each other.
Yeah.
It was great.
Alberto Del Rio versus Darren Young with Miz on commentary.
Yep.
Darren Young wins the match with a bridge following a distraction from The Miz.
Which fails. He tries to distract Darren Young.
Yeah.
And then Del Rio gets upset And then when
Del Rio
Del
gets
Rio's
super annoyed with The Miz. It's great.
yeah, when Del Rio's arguing with The Miz, Young rolls up and Del Rio.
Bob Backlund goes crazy in the corner.
Yeah.
Cena introduces Enzo and Cass.
Yep.
Who come out and it's just so good.
Can they do any wrong? Like every
yet.
promo they do has like been gold.
So good. And I love this. John Cena's like, he's just sort of staring there kind of baffled at Enzo. Yeah. And then he's like, what are you doing, man? You're just like, it's like you're just spitting punchlines. And then Cass goes, yeah, it's Enzo Amore.
That's what he does.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they start naming great trios because there's like the three of us, we're great trios. Yeah. Like these three and these, like
the Musketeers. How you doing?
Yeah, Musketeers. How you doing? The Nirvana. How you doing? And then like,
Destiny's Child. How you doing?
Wu-Tang Clan. How you doing? And then John Cena's like, hold up. That last one, Wu-Tang has like 20 members. That doesn't work at all. And then the club comes out.
Yeah.
Carl Anderson mentions his hot Asian wife again.
Yeah.
And they talk more about beating up John Cena. They're like, man, you know what I really want to do? I want to beat up John Cena. Wait, that's you!
Yeah.
You're John Cena.
Yeah.
The New Day comes out.
Yeah.
This is all leading up to a 12-man tag match, by the way.
This was a really long segment. It just kept going.
The New Day comes out. AJ goes, oh no, Xavier, look, Bray Wyatt's behind you, look out!
I liked it.
What I love is that he's like, oh, look out, he's behind you, oh no. And Xavier's like, that was terrible pantomime, but regardless, and then continues.
And then Xavier starts naming off all these Pokemon.
No. Before that. He references Pokemon Go.
Oh, is this the hashtag squad goals thing that he says?
I don't know, but he references Pokemon Go, which gets a huge reaction.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go is very big.
Very big.
And then he mentions his team, which is Team Valor. He's like, yeah, Team Valor for life, which gets a very mixed reaction. Because there's 3 teams, so theoretically everyone in that building is, 2/3 are not on Xavier's team.
Yeah.
Ostensibly. Yeah. I just love these like, blah, 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 Pokemon Go. Yay! Team Valor for life.
Considering the fact that I am a level 21, yes, level 21 Pokemon Go trainer. Team Valor for life.
It was really good. Cena is just continually baffled by everything that's going on. He's like, wait, hang on. Just what is being said here? Like he keeps trying to get some sense out of any of the banter that's going on.
Yeah.
Like he's someone's dad being like, what is
like, I don't understand
here?
Why this is it's like almost like he's what I picture WWE creative like. Like, I don't know why this is so popular.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But it looks like it's working.
Yeah. Am I out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong. And then the Wyatts do actually come out, and it's a 12-man tag match.
Yeah.
Commentary mentions that the New Day, with their tag reign, are about to eclipse the longest tag reign in WWE history.
Yeah.
Held by London and Kendrick.
Oh, really?
Paul London and Brian Kendrick. I had no idea they held the record.
I didn't either, because they celebrate this week on Raw. New Day celebrated their birthday,
right?
Like them holding the championship for the longest.
I guess actually he's the Brian Kendrick, right?
Yeah. Speaking of Brian Kendrick, he's on this.
He's in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
And the heels win the match. With a Styles Clash on Enzo.
Yeah. After Enzo bumps or attacks AJ ducks it. Enzo hits John Cena, and the club have been hyping that they are a real team.
Yeah.
And Enzo and Cass and John Cena are just 3 dudes.
Yeah.
They will never be able to compete with us because we know we've been wrestling with each other in Japan for all these years, and you guys just don't stand a chance. That was good.
Rollins addresses an empty arena.
Awesome.
And has you could call it a monologue. It's more like a soliloquy, like from a play. He's giving this monologue on the Shield and the creation of the Shield and how he put this together. He brought in Dean Ambrose to take the beatings and Roman Reigns to dish them out.
Yeah, it's awesome. And he talks about how his knee caved from holding this company on his shoulders.
Yeah.
that Ambrose is a thief and a coward, and he stole his title, and he stole his moment. And at one point he's walking down the stairs in the arena, and it's funny. Every time we walk down these stairs, there was a small part of me that just wanted to push them in the back.
Yep.
It's like, holy shit, Seth, that's murder.
You can't just do that.
Yeah, man. You're gonna kill him? Jesus.
And continues also to sort of bag on Reigns for being irresponsible and letting people down.
Yeah.
Shane tries to warn Mick Foley.
Dude,
about
how
Steph.
funny. Before that, it was Foley and Breezango.
Oh, right.
And then Shane was like, can I talk to Foley by myself here for a second? They're like, yeah. And they twirled out of the pirouette, out of the shot. It's so funny. Yeah, I had a good laugh at that.
So Shane, that is good. Shane tries to warn Foley about Steph because he's like, she's conniving, she's manipulative.
Yeah.
And Foley's like, whoa, I know.
Yeah.
I've been there.
He's like, I had a front row seat to her rise to power.
Yeah. So don't worry, I got it. Baron Corbin versus Sin Cara.
Yeah.
And yes, now we hear that the Lucha Dragons split up on Facebook Live. Whatever the hell that is, it's the children who are wrong. So, okay, they're broken up now.
Yeah.
Corbin beats the crap out of Sin Cara, and then Kalisto comes out to save him because they're still friends apparently.
Yeah.
But Corbin beats up Kalisto.
Yeah, beats them both up.
Yup. He's a big guy.
That's where Kalisto was talking about when we went over the draft recap or the draft second screen experience.
Yes.
And Kalisto talked about, I'm on SmackDown.
I can get my revenge on Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
So at Battleground, Charlotte and Dana Brooke have a tag match against Sasha and a mystery opponent to be revealed at Battleground.
Yeah.
So tonight we have Sasha and Becky versus Charlotte and Charlotte and Dana win. This match is not important.
It's not even they don't even win. Natty comes down at one point.
Oh, right.
And attacks Becky.
Yeah.
And then there's a moment where Sasha and Becky are both laid out outside. Charlotte and Natty kind of look at each other, and then they just continue on beating up whoever they're having their match with. So yeah, that was it. It was I want to say, Sasha and Becky technically won by disqualification, but it's a no contest. Yeah. Kerfuffle.
Dean is backstage cutting a very old school Shield promo.
Yeah.
Talking into POV into a crappy camera.
Yeah. He even mentions it. He's like, I made the same.
I used to do this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. He expects to be champ still.
Yeah.
That's basically
He's like,
what
no, I'm going to keep my title, yeah. Rusev and Sheamus have a tag match against Ziggler and Ryder.
Yeah.
They're talking about Ryder a lot on commentary, which is great.
It's good.
Rusev wins the match with an accolade on Ziggler.
Yeah.
That is a match.
There's
a lot of sort of stuff going on in this episode.
This whole episode was just there is a match, and these guys, one or two of these, or I hope more than one, but two of these guys have a match on Battleground. So here you go.
The Ascension actually gets to speak. There's a bit backstage where they're talking to Foley.
Oh shit! Yeah,
and they're actually really funny.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, I was going to say there was a Randy Orton promo too.
Oh, right.
Showing that Randy Orton's coming back.
Randy Orton video package.
Yeah.
He will be returning to the WWE ring on the highlight reel at Battleground.
As someone who's seen a lot of Randy Orton, I've only seen maybe a year or two of him. Does that excite you? Or are you just kind of eh?
Randy Orton's really good.
Yeah.
But for a long time, his character was Randy Borton. He was just like, I'm walking to the ring and now I'm beating you and I've left the ring. And when he gets to have fun, I saw him at a house show, when he gets to cut loose, he's so fun to watch. And I just hope that they let him, I hope that when he comes back, they let him, go nuts.
Well, I feel like we saw some of that at Battleground, right? During the highlight reel with Chris Jericho, he was doing some stuff that I felt was pretty charismatic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And obviously his no DQ highlight is one of the best crowd interaction moments ever. You must have seen this.
We've talked about this. Yeah. Okay,
we talked about this on the show, haven't we?
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show.
Ring the bell. There's no bell to ring. You did this. Wham. Yeah. It's so good. Just Google "There's no bell to ring." It's really, really good. But yeah, when he gets to be that Randy Orton, it's great. When he's like, I hear voices in my head. I talk to me. They
I'm gonna punch you in the head.
Yeah, it's very. So it's just because I've seen a lot of him. He can be great, but he can also just be really dull depending on. I really don't want to see Cena and Orton. There was a period of like 2 years where it was just Cena and Orton, Cena and Orton, Cena and Orton, Cena and Orton.
Jesus.
It was miserable. It was like, but at this pay-per-view, John Cena versus Randy Orton, and it was like, fuck no, kill me. Like, it was just so... Oh. So I just hope they don't feud on SmackDown.
There's a small deranged part of me now that hopes they feud on SmackDown. I know you won't be watching. It'll just be me. I'm like, nah, fuck. You'll have to hear me talk about John Cena, John Cena and Randy Orton feuding with each other.
Yeah. So the Ascension leaves, and Daniel Bryan comes in, and Daniel Bryan talks to Mick Foley.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, man.
This segment is awesome.
Oh, it's so good. Bryan's like, hey, man, I know Steph and Shane are at each other's throats, and obviously our shows are competing, but I don't want us to not get along.
Yeah.
We're just trying to do to do the best we can. And over the course of this promo, this just turns.
Yeah. They talk about Mick Foley has this great line where he's like, even during when I was a wrestler, I had to outwork and outfight and outlast everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do to you.
Yeah.
It's like, we're just a couple of guys who have wives that are way out of our league. Yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah.
Daniel Bryan's like, oh, yeah. No kidding.
And I can't remember what Daniel says to him, but at one point Mick's like, you remind me a lot of myself if I looked at myself through a pair of binoculars like the wrong way. Like you're a wee little guy.
You're very small.
You're a very small man.
And Daniel Bryan's like, yeah, it's like you look like me if I was looking at a funhouse mirror.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it was great. It was good. It was a little bit funny. Both these guys have a lot of charisma.
Oh yeah.
And they're both lovable. Like I just look at them both and I'm like, I would love to hang out with either one of you.
Yeah, and it sort of ends up with Mick Foley, I think it is, sort of puts the button on it with these but everything I went through, all the adversity, all the challenges I faced, one thing I never did was back down from a fight. And we're fighting.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
And Brian's like, yep.
See you later.
Alrighty. Yeah. Glad we understand each other.
Yeah.
It's the main event.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the title.
Yeah.
Ambrose versus Rollins.
Very good match.
Yeah.
Liked it. There was one point where Ambrose stops the running powerbomb thing into the corner and just turns it into like a Hurricane Rana. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, we didn't see that yet. Nobody's ever really reversed it.
There's a ref bump.
Of course there is.
And then what happens? How does this end?
There's like a double pin.
Kinda?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Because the thing is, I didn't watch the SmackDown with the draft, right?
Oh, okay, So
I'm watching the episode and I'm like, oh, okay. So there's a confusion, and then because then Steph is like, yeah, Rollins won, and Rollins is like, yeah, I won,
and then
he picks up the title, and he's like, woo, and then the announcers are like, wait, what happened? Hang on, we don't actually know what happened, and Rollins is like, I win, cut, and I'm sitting there going, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. So after Raw went off the air, Shane got on the mic and was like, yeah, it was inconclusive, and they reversed. They say like, oh, okay, Dean's still champ. Huh. That's it. But after Raw goes off air.
That's weird.
And then the next night on the SmackDown Live, the night of the draft, they have a rematch, and Dean just wins clean.
Huh.
So, but yeah, it was weird. If I was watching, because I watched this yesterday, so I was a week late on this one. But if I was watching it live, I would have been like, what the fuck? I would have been so mad.
Well, I was even more confused because I knew that Dean retained.
Oh, at Battleground?
Right? Well, I knew that Dean retained here because I knew that he goes into Battleground with Dean as champ.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, what?
That's so good. You're just like, what happened in between? Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
So they go off the air and Reigns is champ, but apparently not.
Yeah.
And then they have the rematch the next night during the draft.
Yeah.
And Dean wins clean. So Dean was never not champ. like officially.
Yeah.
Dean never actually lost it, and then Dean goes into Battleground for the triple threat against Rollins and Reigns, and that'll be Battleground, and following Raw probably will be the next episode. Real quick, speaking of ref bumps.
Okay.
Last episode we were talking about Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't realize until I was editing it how bad the ref bump in the Cena AJ match was.
How bad was it?
So they just the foot just like brushed the air near the ref's
Was it
face.
the same zip code?
and he just sort of goes, ugh, and like stands over. It looked terrible.
Yeah.
But in the main event, when they get thrown out of the ring, or when they're outside the ring, you mentioned that Reigns like tries to spear, and then Rollins gets out of the way and he goes for the barricade.
Yeah.
So the match ref is there, and there's another ref down there who's like, "Oh, are you okay?" and like helping him back up.
Yeah.
And then they go in the ring, and then they bump the ref, and there's a shot where just for a moment you can see the ref as he's falling from being hit, and the other ref outside the ring
Yeah, he just doesn't do anything.
is there,
Yeah.
and just doesn't do anything. Just at no point tries to help the match. Like sometimes when a ref is like knocked down like long enough, the way that a ref bump sometimes is resolved is that the ref gets back up.
Yeah.
But other times the ref is completely out, and the match has to keep going until another official can run down from the back. And he'll be like, "Oh, here comes a backup referee," and he'll like run down and get right in the ring, and 1, 2, 3, and that'll
Which
be the end
makes
of the
you
thing.
think from like a...
So it's like any ref can act as an official for any match.
Yeah.
And so this other ref is just there going like, well, I see my partner in like my partner in being an official is unconscious in the ring, and this match is going to hell, but I'm just going to stand here.
They don't pay me enough to get in that ring.
Yeah. So it's like this is even stupider.
They need to give me a raise before I even think of lifting a hand for a 1 count.
Stupider.
Yeah. I always wonder if the mechanics on that, like, okay, I'm assuming people are watching backstage, right?
Yeah.
Or officials are. So they see the ref get knocked out, and then they just leave it out there, and then eventually the ref comes running down. It's like, no, there's a 10-minute, buffer that you have to wait to see if he gets up.
I assume like the physical mechanics of backstage are very like nebulous.
Yeah.
And I assume what happens in storyline is that backstage they see that the ref gets knocked down, and then someone goes, "Oh, that ref's been knocked down. Call another ref," and then they have to go get a ref, and then another
They're
ref's
sending
like,
carrier pigeons.
Yeah, the other ref's like, "Oh no, I'm not in my gear," and they throw their shirt on, and then they got to run from wherever the locker room is, presumably 3 doors over, into
I like
get
how
down.
throwing his gear on is a step that you just explained by putting his shirt on.
Shirt on, and then they get down to the ring. So like, there's. Whatever you don't see, you can fill in. in your head. So you're like, I accept that that's how long it takes a ref to get from wherever he was down to the ring.
Yeah.
But for this one, the ref was right there.
Yeah, I know, right?
Come on.
I don't know, actually. That's funny. No, you're the first person that I had mentioned it to me.
It's just while I was putting the episode together, and I was like, wait, hang on. And then I looked at the moment where the ref bump is, and I was like, he's right there.
Yeah.
He's in the timekeeper's area.
It's not in the union, man. The ref union.
I'm on break.
This is my allotted 30-minute break, and I would be very appreciative if I could go through and finish taking my break, because I am not getting involved in this matchup.
Yeah. So, the next thing is Battleground. That was 4 episodes of Raw.
Yeah!
Neatly with a bow on it.
We're caught up, pretty much.
Pretty much, because the next episode is Battleground, and then the first episode of the new Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Which even after watching, because I did watch Battleground, and then I watched all the Raws to catch up, and even after all that, I was still like, I kind of want to check out the beginning of Monday Night Raw just to see what it's
You
like.
monster.
It looks pretty cool, so I'm excited to start talking about it. But
yeah, it looks like very stripped down, like very basic.
Yeah.
But in a good way, like an NXT style, like they do in NXT.
yeah. But that will be next episode.
Yes. You're gonna have to wait.
Yeah. Adam.
Yep. Yes.
What's your Twitters?
My Twitters. I am at Wake Up Super,
Yeah.
and you
Uh-huh.
are Graham.
At Graham L_LRR.
Yeah.
Graham_LRR. Yeah, we're on Twitter, and it's great. And all of this is brought to you by you and your kind supporter of our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun.
Yes.
It's a big important help. We really appreciate it.
It lets us continue doing this.
Yeah.
And all the other stuff that
All
Loading Ready Run
the
does,
things.
which is a lot.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of content.
There's a lot of things.
So
It's
if this
for your
is, if
entertainment.
you've stumbled on this from somewhere, I don't know where,
Yeah.
just looking around on YouTube, and and you've made it this far, congratulations.
I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. Come with us on this journey.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. We stream on Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/LoadingReadyRun.
And of course, this is on our YouTube channel, so there's more stuff here. Anyway, thank you all for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.